Today's slides are all about nuclear power and biofuels, biomass. Okay, so just quickly, let's roll through the plan for today. First, Mr. Alexander's announcements as always. Then we're going to add these slides for biofuels and nuclear. Make sure you take the attendance quiz, and then here are your reminders. Now that it's out there, due today is the slice and dice gizmo. These things here will close tonight, so make sure that you've done those to get those in, and then keep track of our other things. We're going to have some openings here and due dates because of this project coming up here for what we're doing. So nuclear power, it's super complicated, but it's actually the most efficient way to make electricity right now. You get more radiation sitting in front of your computer than if you lived inside of a nuclear power plant. Why? They're designed to stop the radiation, so they do. And basically the easiest way to describe how it works is a nuclear reaction boils water to make steam, to turn the turbine to make electricity. That's what we're taking it at. And what you see coming out of the top is just released steam that's condensating. Now, some pros of nuclear power: most efficient way to make electricity. And it's the cheapest way to make electricity once you have it going. Some cons: if there's a meltdown, the meltdown is super crazy bad. But as far as it goes, the percentages of meltdowns is very, very small. And another con is the waste is a long-term nuclear waste that we have to store. There's actually mountains that are dug deep in where they store this waste that have pictograms, so people know in generations from now, if language is broken down, they know that they shouldn't be going into these caves as they break down. So that, to me, is a very, very large negative, but when it's done properly, it is one of the best ways to make electricity for us. There are a bunch of them in North Carolina. You just need to know where to look, and I talked about the one that it used to be near where I lived in Apex, North Carolina. Biofuels are relatively new, and basically what are biofuels? And know that North Carolina really puts biofuels and biomass. They kind of use those two words almost the same in some cases, which is not necessarily how it's always been, but those two words are interchangeable in an answer, so make sure that you realize that. I like the term biofuels because that means you're using the broken down plant matter or biological parts to make what you need. And they've been doing this in farms for years. They've been using cow waste and chicken waste and adding a bacteria to that converts it to a usable fuel, a cleaner burning fuel that we can use. There are some pros and some cons. Pros: it burns much cleaner than fossil fuels. Other pros is if you can grow it, you can make it. So once you have it there, it is something that we can make. We can't make more fossil fuels because those take millions of years to make. So if we can grow it, we can make it, or if we can break it down, we can make it. Some cons, and the biggest con people will say right now is that we're using farmland to grow this corn that we're not going to eat to run cars when we could be growing food for people who don't have food. And that is a major negative to this situation. But there are actually biofuel corn fields around here. If you look around, you'll see a sign that has like a green corn cob looking gas nozzle, and that means that field is used for that. Another con is that you have to have specialized cars to use that fuel right now. So you can't just throw a biofuel into a regular gasoline car to have it work. So there's that upstart cost once again. But there is also much less pollution coming from it. So how do they make it? They take all this, whatever they're using, the specially grown corn, the specially grown wheat that they're using, and they add certain things to it that eat it and release a waste that is a flammable waste or a usable waste, and then which are bioengineered to work in these vehicles. So it's actually pretty interesting how it works. It's still kind of in the beginning, but there is a lot of it that is happening in the world. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know. That one does have a little bit of a different definition than burning something to make steam to turn a turbine. So make sure that you think about that as you do it. Have a great